In this video, we're gonna break down the one setting that you cannot get wrong when using the Rode Wireless Go 2 or any other kind of microphones that have dual transmitters. The option of recording merged or split audio on these microphones is what totally sets them apart from a single microphone setup. And here you're gonna be choosing between being practical and fast in the delivery with some safety on the loudness, or having the possibility of editing the audio separately and muting them whenever needed. Yeah, I'm Henry, and this channel I help with the tech tools to be creative, and today we're talking about the Rode Wireless Go 2, but these tips can also fit some other microphone sets that have dual transmitters. If you're watching this video before you do some tests, you're not going to be surprised by what comes out of this box. But if you already did them and you faced one of the problems like the audio is only coming from one side on the headphones, or if you're experiencing echo, this video has all the solutions for you. With the introduction of the second version of the Rode Wireless Go, Rode also introduced the Rode Central, which is the software you can use to access the settings on these guys and also to retrieve the recordings on the transmitters. I'm going to leave the link also in the description. So let me show you already the settings you can see on the receiver, and for that you have to plug it with a USB-C cable to your computer or notebook. Okay, so here we are inside Rode Central. I already have the receiver connected to the USB cable, and I'm just going to click here on the Wireless Go 2 RX, meaning that this is the receiver. And these are the options we get around here. And if you want to know what all of these settings are, you can check this video over here where I go about each one of them. But today we're going to be talking about one specific, which is this one over here, the mode. And if I click on it, you can see that we have two options, merged and split. So let's go step by step and begin with the merged option. So what merged here means is that both transmitters are gonna record separately. They're gonna send their audio signals to the receiver, but the receiver is going to combine them into one audio only. And this means that later, when you import this file into your editing software, you're gonna see the audio like this. So here we have two people talking, but on the left and right channels, we have exactly the same audio being repeated and mixed by the receiver all the time. So whenever I change the volume, for example, I'm just gonna be changing for both of them. Okay, so now I have both microphones here, and it doesn't really matter which one I'm talking to and which one is close to my mouth. You should be hearing it just the same. But to properly test a two microphones, two transmitters microphone set, I need help with a second person to be interviewed. So today we have... Okay, so in this first test, we're just gonna be walking around and talking to the microphone, and it doesn't really matter from where we are, it's just gonna sound roughly the same.
And you'll hear it in stereo coming from both sides.
And now one extra test that I wanted to show you is that if I turn completely off my transmitter, you're gonna still be able to hear me because my voice is coming through her microphone. Meaning that all the time before you were listening it, which gives a little bit of echo.
But you can still hear me.
So this method of recording is very practical. Your audio is going to be almost ready when you go to the editing room. But there's a big drawback, and that is if there's any kind of noise coming from the other microphone while your audio is lost, what are you doing? And this is what the audio looks like when you start editing. You can cry already. It's totally blown out, there's nothing to recover, and if I just change the volume here, it's just gonna change both channels at the same time. And here, even if you have the safety channel on, you cannot clean it anymore because they are combined together. Pro tip alert. So I've been saying that you cannot save it anymore, but actually there is one way that you can still save your recording. And the only way is if you remember to set up the internal recording on the microphones, and you download the recording from the one that is clean without any noise to replace the one that you see on the editing. Now, this is not very complicated to do, but it's very boring and time consuming. You're gonna have to try to find the right spot and synchronize it to be able to use it. If there's any kind of noise coming from the other microphone while you're talking, then your audio is lost. What are you doing? So as I said in other videos, the recordings here are a last resource if you're in trouble. Now, one cool thing about using merged mode is that you can use the safety channel, meaning that it's going to record a -20 dB, meaning a much lower in volume version of the same audio on another channel. So it doesn't save you if you're having noise from one of the microphones, but it does help you if you're having someone talking much louder out of a sudden. Like for example, if you're two people reacting to a soccer match and suddenly... I don't know how many times I have to say that they have to attack from the sides a little bit. A little bit. Okay, let's talk now about the split mode. And to activate it, you just have to come here and click on the merge. It's gonna change to split. And now what's happening is both transmitters are recording separately, they're sending their signals to the receiver, but the receiver is recording both of them into the same audio file that is connected to your video file, but on different channels. And these channels in stereo means left and right. Okay, so now we're recording in split mode.
And you should be hearing us from different sides.
My audio should be coming from the right.
And mine from the left.
And finally, the biggest advantage of recording in this method is that even if there's any kind of noise going on in the other microphone, it's not going to be a problem at all, because we can just cancel what's going on over there, even if the other person is doing things they shouldn't do. Now, if you're close enough to the other person so that their microphone can also pick up your voice, this is what you see in the editing software, meaning that you can clearly recognize when someone is talking, in this case here, the person on the right channel, and here the person on the left channel. And this generates a sort of echo that can be a little bit disturbing, but since the channels are separate, you have the option of muting the microphone that is not the main one in that moment. Listen to this and judge by yourself if you think it's something that should be treated or just left like this. Okay, so now we're recording in split mode. 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 Okay, and this is what that audio looks like in editing software. And as a miracle, now you have both channels separate and all the noise is concentrated on only one of them. So you can totally mute that part and just leave the one that has no noise. Now what you're gonna find strange here is that you don't have two volume bars for the two different channels. So depending on which software you're using, you're gonna have to treat this a little bit differently. But the concept is mostly the same. You're gonna have to duplicate this audio and you're gonna have to show only one channel in each track. Let me show you how to do it very quickly for DaVinci and Premiere. Now, if you're on DaVinci Resolve, all you have to do is Alt or Option click the audio track and just drag it down to create a new one, which is actually the same. Now, if you go to Fairlight for the audio treatment and you right click the audio track, you can go to Clip Attributes. And there you can choose which channel you want to have on that track. So for one, just pick the left channel, and for the other one, the right channel. And now you can just mute all the noise and treat the audio as you wish. On Premiere, there's two ways to go about it. The first one is going to the clip in the bin, right click, and going to Modify Audio Channels. Here you can choose to have two different tracks and the left channel on the first track and the right channel on the second track. Like this, they're split and you can treat them separately. The second way to do it is to just duplicate the audio track and choose in the Effects tab the effects called Fill Left with Right or Fill Right with Left. You apply each one to each track, and like this you have them separate again. Now, of course, in this example we went a little bit extreme to really show in the audio waveform what it looks like to have some noise on one of the microphones. But don't be fooled, because many times doing client work, many small things could have totally ruined the audio if there wasn't a backup. So use wisely the tips in this video, and if you have any other questions, just pop them in the comment section below. And if you want to know something else about these microphones that can really help you record perfect audio, check out this video over here, in which I talk about all of the settings, everything that you need to know about them to get it just right. So I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching. Ciao, ciao.